Yo, welcome to another video, guys. Today we are going to be talking about Laika and how he activates Lushen's perfect AI. So if you saw my previous video, this team here is a 100% clear on Giants B12 if you build it the way I've built it. You can catch that video to see how everything is built in the turn order and all of that. But today I didn't show the Laika runes in that video because I didn't want people to think you need a strong Laika like the one I have. There's some of you that are going to be able to make a better Laika, but there's some of you that are not going to be able to make a Laika like I have on top of a really strong Lushen, right? But more importantly, I wanted to have some numbers for you. I wanted to know the exact damage that you need to be able to activate the perfect AI on the Lushen when your Laika does indeed do justice. So let's take a look. So we took off the auto, and right behind me is the play button, guys. So right behind me, I will be pressing play. I know you can't see it, but first we are going to use justice. We're going to times ones it. I'm going to show you the damage, 19,000. So look with how much HP he is left with. Definitely more than we need, all right? So that's what I wanted to showcase. In order to activate Lushen's perfect AI, so he uses amputation magic every time, is to get anything here, anything, below 30% HP. So once it's below 30% HP, like my Laika just got this crystal down to, then the Lushen will indeed activate amputation magic. As I will now click play, you see my cursor is moving from amputation magic over to the left. We press play, amputation magic. So unfortunately, the Laika does not have perfect AI himself. He indeed can derp, so he can use skill 1 himself, which is unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate when he does, but when he doesn't, it's very nice. Boom, justice, perfect AI, amputation magic, perfect example. So this run here, it's looking good. It was looking good until the Lord got resisted, right? Which is unfortunate, but no matter what, this is what makes the team safe. The Laika will be able to solo the giant on his own, no matter what. So even if he were to kill everyone, get a turn, and wipe the whole team, the Laika will destroy this. So this run actually was pretty good, and this is how a lot of runs go. Unfortunately, because we started on manual, it wasn't that fast. It was a minute 47, but obviously we started on manual, right? So let me show you his runes now, and then I'm going to show you how you can do it with Garo as well. I'm going to show you his whole build, and then I'm going to show you how much you actually need to do. All right, now very, very important, guys. You will notice he is on focus. He does have 20% accuracy. Ideally, I want him to have a little bit more. Now, the reason for that is you want to be able to land those dots, because those dots add damage to the crow. So the more dots are on the mid boss, the harder the crow is going to hit. The more dots on the giant, the harder the crow is going to hit. Therefore, the faster your runs are going to be. So I will be updating this Laika. Now that I know how much damage I actually need, I can nerf some of his damage and just give him some more accuracy. Because no matter what, I don't need this much damage on the mid boss or on the giant himself. I just want him to activate Lushen's perfect AI every time he uses justice. So these are his runes. He is on rage focus, so he is on attack, crit damage, and attack. These are his other runes. One key thing to note is you do want 100% crit rate, guys. 100% crit rate is a must, because even though he can't glance, that doesn't mean he gets elemental advantage. He is not Theomars. So if you rune him with 85 crit rate, yes, he's going to crit 85% of the time. But 15% of the time, he's going to miss a crit. He's not going to activate the Lushen's perfect AI. Therefore, it's going to cause your runs to be slowed down. So you really don't want that. Just get him to 100% crit rate, if possible. These are his artifacts. So we are running attack. We've got skill 1 crit damage. We could probably upgrade this as well, but this is actually pretty good for him. And ideally, you can get some extra damage through Justice if possible, for skill 2 crit damage there. And then here, this is it. Here, what you would want is maybe increased damage. You want the attack increase in effect, so you can nuke the boss, but maybe some additional damage to water, so he can get that mid boss down a little more. I will be upgrading his runes or his artifacts a little bit as well, but additional damage to water will definitely, if I can add more damage to him on the mid boss, that would be awesome, because then the crow would be able to nuke when he uses skill 3, as long as we have enough debuffs, right? So that's what you're going to mainly look for. And then you could go with the attack increase in effect as well, because he is going to have the attack buff on the boss stage at least once. Or when the homie does the rock on, she increases attack buff first, and then she sends the 3 people, right? So if she sends him, now he's got attack buff. So this would definitely help him as well. Now, let's do one more, and I'm going to tell you now some numbers. This is what you are going to want to look for on your Laika. This is the threshold, and you're going to see it pop up here on the screen in text. So these side crystals, guys, on the first wave, they have 23,670. And then on the third wave, they have 23,730 HP. So I figured that out by going to Reddit and finding out the B12 unit stat info. So you take 70% of that. You have to do 70% of that damage, and what you want is, just to be safe, because there are some of the hidden crit damage multipliers where you're not always going to hit for the exact same amount, you need your Laika's Justice to do exactly a minimum of 16,500. So if I put this at ×1, we can slow it down, and you can see that my Laika 18,900. See, last time he hit for 19,000, right? So you can tell I am definitely well over, so I can afford to drop some damage. So you will be able to afford to drop some damage yourself as well. Now, the reason I don't really want to drop damage is because I want him doing more damage in this stage, right? But I do want more accuracy. As you saw right there, we took the Laika, but we didn't land the dot. Had we landed the dot, I'm pretty sure the crow here would have been able to push. Maybe. Also, I think he may have, but he didn't. And see, now it just took a few extra turns, right? So that slowed it down a little bit. But let's take a look again. Let's ×1 it again, and then boom. So 19 again. So this time he did, like I said, there's a hidden multiplier every time a unit crits. But see, right there, we've got the dot, right? So it's gonna be really rare, but once in a great while, you know, basically shit's gonna hit the fan, and your Laika's gonna end up having to solo the giant. So adding that accuracy to him so he can land those dots will just make it easy and faster. Because if the giant doesn't need to get a turn, he'll die to he will end up dying to the dots instead. So that is how you are going to be building your Laika so that he can activate Lushen's perfect AI. Well, that's going to be it, guys. Now you know how much damage your Laika actually needs to be able to activate Lushen's perfect AI. Unfortunately, we can't give the Laika perfect AI, but trust me, guys, over the long haul, over a span of thousands of giant B12 runs, which I'm sure you're all going to be doing, it will speed things up significantly. So 16,500 damage from a Justice from the new giant killer Laika himself is what you need. If you didn't know, now you know. You know?